Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Abayomi, and in this video we'll be talking about the pub sub architecture, which we also known as the publisher and the subscriber architecture. So this is a design pattern where we can decouple our application so that they communicate with one another. Say we have a service A and service B, they can communicate without knowing about each other directly. So I have prepared this flow. This is the request flow for the user creation. Let me just walk you through what I have here. So I have the models. This is just the user model. We have the email and the username, this timestamp. And we have the controller layer, which we create the user and call the user service. And in the user service, we can call the event bus. And if I go to my event bus, I have the event instance here. So we created event bus class, then we extend it to the event emitter. So we created a new instance of the event bus, and in the user event, we can use the event bus to listen. So if I go back to the service, we have this emit here. So think of emit as sending message out, and in the user event bus, we want to receive data from that bus. And as you can see, we are receiving from this user colon created, and so the emitter and the listener must have the same name if they want to communicate. And we have the app TS here. Let me just do a quick rundown. So this is the Express instance. We have our Express middleware, and we have our logger here. I will explain the logger in a bit. Then we mounted our routes, we exported our app, and we connected to our MongoDB. And in the utils, we have this log flow here. So this log flow is just to show us the request flow from the client side to the event bus. So I will go to my server, and in the server, we just imported the app here, and we are listening to port 4000. And what else? We have the client here where we can send a request to our server. So that is what I have as the code structure. And if I go back to my README, let me close my Explorer. So the client will make a request, which is the first one, send a post request to the user's endpoint. The request will be received by the Express server, and the request will go to the route first, then to the controller. And in the user controller, which is this one, this user controller here, we'll call the service, which is the create user service. I can show you that. So we call this create user service like so. And after creating the user service, then we write to the DB, right? This is the log4. And after writing to the DB, we want to call the emitter. So I will go back to my service. So we want to write to the DB first, and I have my log flow here. It says user created emitting event starts. Then we can have the data logged here. Then we call this emitter, which is called the user create. So I'll go back to my README, and the user creates emitter will call the event bus and notify all listeners. That is all the user created listener. We emitted this user created, and all event listeners listening to this user created will be notified, and it will execute this. So this approach can work well with your logger, with your worker, with sending email. So you want to do it like a fire and forget, and not to wait for a response. So let's see this in action. I'll run my app. I'll do npm run dev. Then we have our server running on port 4000, then MongoDB connected. Then if I go to my client, If I run this with my REST run, then we have success through data, blah, blah, blah. But if I open my terminal, we can see the flow here. So on step 1, we have the request received from the post user, which is our client here. And on step 2, we call the controller through the route. And this is the request payload, and the controller we call the service, and the service we call, after committing to the DB, it will call the user event bus, and the listener will receive the event from the user event. So this is how you can create a pub sub architecture. While this works with EventEmitter, you can also use a queuing system like the RabbitMQ, or you can also use Kafka. So this brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do well to give it a try first, and give this video a like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.